Earthworms have been on our planet since the creation. Their function in nature is to recycle dead plant and animal material. This enriches the earth and helps to create new soil.
Well, what I'd like to do is just give you a little example of what you do at a worm workshop when you come and you decide you're going to be a vermicomposter and start managing your own organic waste at home. So in here is a little colony of worms, and they're kind of hiding out, waiting for their time to go in. And we start everybody off with a mini bin. It's just a little 8-inch azalea pot. And believe it or not, this makes a fabulous worm bin. It's got great drainage, and it's just the right size to start a colony. So we use moistened paper and cardboard, and this can be newspaper, shredded office paper, cereal boxes, Kinko's boxes, whatever you got, paper towels, napkins, any kind of cellulose carbon, which you used to think of as rubbish. Now it's worm bedding, and that makes a bedding for the worms, and it's moist, and it gives them a place to live, and for all the other organisms that help them out to have a place to live for approximately 3 or 4 months. And at that point, this has all started to disintegrate. They've actually ingested their bedding, and at that point you need to harvest them out, separate them from their cast, or the product they produce by eating this stuff, worm poop, and rebed them. So this is about a 3 to 4 month cycle in my little mini bin. The worms are photophobic and they don't like the light, so whenever we need to separate worms from material they're in, we make a mound and we pick away at it, and the worms will go down. So what I'm doing now is forcing the worms down into a little ball so that I can pick them up. And what I'm doing with this old bedding material, I'm going to mix it in with the new bedding to inoculate this new bedding with the microscopic organisms that help the worms to break down food. So whenever we move from old bedding to new bedding, we always add a handful of the old stuff to start up the new stuff. These are the worms, Perionyx excavatus, and they are a beautiful, buff, handsome, slim worm. And their specialty is processing organic matter that falls to the surface of the earth. They don't know the difference between rotting papaya and manure, so we can get them to eat our garbage very happily and be very happy in our bin. So this little handful of worms goes into the little flower pot mini bin, and you feed them and cover them. And for a 4-month period, you care for them that way. It's just real simple. You give them your garbage and you keep them moist. And at the end of 4 months, you dump out the pot, and all of the paper and cardboard, 4 months of food and paper covering is transformed to vermicast. This is the worm's product, worm poop or vermicast. And this is a wonderful soil amendment. So what you're doing is you're recycling. You're taking the nutrients from your food scraps, letting them go through the gut of the worm, then the worm is repackaging those nutrients so they can be used again for healthy plant growth. And even though you're not a plant, you can just tell that that is really beautiful stuff. This is the world's best fertilizer. It has all the nutrients plants need, as well as a built-in pest and disease suppressant. So it's an absolutely organic, perfect soil amendment and fertilizer to use in garden, houseplants, landscaping, and lawns. So that's what you get when you come to a worm workshop, a little mini bin with a colony of worms, and you can start right away feeding them your banana peels and papaya skins and potato peelings and vegetable scraps, and they'll munch down everything.
Worms have been converting organic waste to compost for 300 million years. Go Green Hawaii is sponsored by the Hawaiian Electric Company. Garbage-eating worms work silently, productively, and work for free.
Welcome back to Go Green Hawaii. We're at the first ever Hawaii Worm Conference. Did you know that green waste is the #1 waste that we create here in our islands? Well, worms can take care of that problem. Let's learn how.
Well, we're here at the Hawaii Worm Conference, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are doing worms right now. I'm counting pretty close to 5,000 people are doing worms in the state of Hawaii, and that means they are taking waste out of
the waste stream and composting it right on site with a colony of worms right in their own kitchen or in their backyard. So it's a great way of recycling the valuable plant nutrients back to the soil, and it's a great way of cutting down on waste. We're trying to get people to manage their waste at home rather than dumping it out into the waste stream for somebody else to manage it, because invariably that's going to cost us money and energy and water, so forth. So if you can do it at home, you can do it very efficiently, and the worms are really pleasant and cute and fun to have around. Everyone kind of falls in love with their wormies. I tell the little kids, to feed your worms, use this rule of thumb. If you say yuck, the worms say yum. So any kind of slimy banana peel or, you know, that yucky brown lettuce in the back of your fridge, that is delicious worm food. These worms can eat their weight a day in organic waste. So if you generate 2 pounds of food a day in your household, you'll want 2 pounds of worms ultimately, and that will take care of everything that you generate. And they turn it into a beautiful product called Vermicast, which is an odor-free, nutrient-rich organic fertilizer. So you're taking all of the nutrients from the plant waste, from the food waste, and the worm is packaging it and concentrating it in its cast or casting, and that is recycled back to your garden or your houseplants or your lawn. A lot of people start with a mini bin and a starter colony of worms, and they pick that up at a workshop or at an expo, like the recycling fair. We were there and a lot of people picked up their mini bins and learned how to use them. They take them home and feed them, and over a period of time those worms reproduce and create a larger colony that can eat more of your food.
Go Green Hawaii is sponsored by the Hawaiian Electric Company.